Hello. So far everything's been working pretty well. If we look over here in my shell, we keep seeing nice stuff that's been working. This is all the stuff from these early videos, and everything's been working great. So now it's time to see what happens when things don't go so great. And we're going to focus on variables because there's some bad things we can do with variables. So let's assign a variable 1 me equals 39 and try and print 1 me. And let's see what happens when we run this module. Invalid syntax. Okay, well maybe you don't like 1 me. How about 2 me? Let's try this. 2 me, 2 me, run module. Okay, nope, invalid syntax. And if we look at this, it's been nice enough to highlight this in red that it doesn't like this. Well, there's some rules for variables. One, they can't start with a number. They've got to start with a letter of some kind, or they can be an underscore. So this underscore, that's the little line. It tends to be the shift dash on your keyboard. Underscore me will work, and this should be a little bit happier. Run module. Okay. There we go. That worked fine. So the underscore works, but otherwise you should use a letter most of the time for your starting one. So let's just switch this back to me. And watch what happens if we try and print me, but we have a capital M. Let's see what happens. Crash. So here we have a traceback. Tracebacks are red error messages, and they're going to try and tell you where something went wrong. And in this case, it says me is not defined. That's because I defined a variable called lowercase me, and here we see a variable with uppercase me. And it doesn't matter what one we capitalize, this is not going to be happy. So whenever you see an is not defined error, the first thing I would look for is capitalization. Because sure, on me, you might say, well, Mr. Stanton, I'm quite able to figure out that capitalization is incorrect. True, but what if your variable name is, this is a long, very strange variable equals 5, and you're trying to print this is a long, very strange variable. Did I make a mistake? Let's see. Oh, I did. There's a capital T instead of a lowercase t. But that's probably a little harder to see, right? So hopefully I don't see if I made any other errors. It's always possible. Typos are terrible. Ooh, I do. I have another typo. Let's see if we can find it. This is a long, very strange, should have a T in it, variable. Let's try that. There we go. So we should be careful here. The longer the variable name, the more difficult it can be to debug, but it also makes it easier to read. You'll also notice I used a trick called Camel Case. Camel Case means if you're going to string together a lot of words, we're going to capitalize every word but the first one. And the first one, we're going to start with a lowercase. So we start with a lowercase word, but then every other one is capitalized. And if you can maintain that style of programming, or that style of variable creation, then you'll have an easier time writing out your variables and have fewer capitalization errors. Plus, a lot of people will ask you to write in Camel Case. So it's a good habit to get in, and it's just making sure that every word you use after the first one, even if it's a single letter word like A followed by another word, make sure that they're capitalized. So we could use numbers in here once we've started the variable. So if you want to have a variable called, I don't know, test39 equals 5, you could then print, don't spell it wrong, test39, and this will be okay. It's okay with that. Ooh, I should have picked a different number. Let's pick the number 9 so we can see the difference here. There we go. So now we've got some possible errors that we can pay attention to as we're doing the variables. So make sure you look for capitalization and make sure you look for spelling, because they're two of the most common errors that you're going to see popping up. And it'll pop up with this traceback with an is not defined error. That's your clue that that's what you should be looking for.